Okay, friends, this video is on finding the number of pieces produced when doing piecework. So this is when you are paid per item that you create or produce or complete. All right, so if we look over in our notes, so to find the number of pieces produced, we are going to divide. So if we go over here into piecework, we're going to find the number of pieces produced, the total amount of money the person earns, divided by what they get paid for every item they create. So this is the total pay, and this is the pay per item. And if we divide the total pay by the pay per item, we're going to find out how many items the person produced. So we're going to go over, we're going to grab a calculator. Again, when you go and you grab a calculator, you want to make sure that that calculator is in mode 2. And this is true even of the ones that you borrow from my classroom, because if somebody else has come along and changed the mode. So you want to be in mode, and you want it to go from float to 2, because you want your calculator to round everything to the nearest penny, to the nearest cent, to 2 places after the decimal point. So you want to change it from float to 2. So now that we have it in mode 2, we are ready to go. Okay, this first problem tells us that this year Maya Jones earned $71,781.95, and by being paid $658.55 for every program she was able to complete and deliver to her customers. So Maya's job is to write, complete, deliver programs to customers. And whenever Maya completes and delivers a program, she earns $658.55. Well, she created so many programs this year that her total pay this year was $71,000. So according to the notes, we're going to take the amount of money she earns in a full payment, a total pay of $71,781, and we're going to divide it by what she gets paid per one item. So we're going to take the $71,781.95, and we're going to divide it by how many programs she was able to produce. Or no, we're finding that out. We're going to divide it by how much money she earns per item. So for every one item she created and delivered, she made $658.55. So we're going to take the total amount of money and divide it by the per item amount of money. So $658.55. And this tells us how many programs did she complete and deliver? 109. Now, this is where you want to be really careful, friends. We're talking about an actual item, something that you can put in a box and hand to somebody, okay? So we have 109 programs that she delivered. So that is 109 programs. That is not money, so it doesn't get a dollar sign. It's an entire item, so it doesn't need to be rounded to the nearest cent because we're not talking about money. These are physical things that she was able to hand to somebody, to deliver to somebody, a program. Okay, so that's just 109. So even though up here it says 109.000, don't put .00 in Canvas or it's going to mark it wrong, okay? Just 109, no dollar sign because it's not money. So one of those rare times where we're not finding money. They told us all the money, we have to find the items. Okay, so next question. Find the number of pieces produced. Danny was happy when they came home for Labor Day weekend to umpire softball games, as they earned $990 over the 3-day weekend. Danny's paid $55 per game. So here's the deal. Danny came home, got to work, started umpiring these tournament games, right? So they umpired on Saturday, on Sunday, and on Labor Day weekend, Monday of Labor Day weekend. So they umpired games. And every game that they umpired, they got $55 for every game. So the very first game Danny umpired, Danny was paid $55. The next game, $55. The next game, $55. Danny worked so many games that when the tournament was over, the tournament director was able to give Danny a check for $990. Or the tournament director directly deposited $990, or that's what Danny earned, okay? $990 is what Danny earned. So Danny earned $990. So obviously he did more than one game, right? So we're going to take $55 and see how many times it goes into $990. So we're going to take $990 and we're going to divide it by $55 and find out that one game, that Danny worked 18 ball games. So Danny umpired 18 ball games that weekend. So Danny came out, he umpired one game, he umpired two games, he umpired three games, he umpired 18 games in one weekend, one Labor Day weekend. So that's a lot of work for Danny. Danny did a lot of work for those 3 days, but Danny earned $990. So 990 divided by $55 a game means that Danny did 18 games. And again, there's not a dollar sign on that. And you can't umpire part of a softball game. You get paid for the whole game, whether it rains or not or whatever happens. Whether it goes 3 innings or 5 innings or 9 innings, you get paid per game. So that is 18 solid. Don't put a .00 with it. And you also know you're right when it comes out to be a whole number, by the way. Okay. Question 3. Jimmy Kahn earned $369.60 this week. So that's what he earned in 1 week's time. They earn $1.76 a piece. So every piece that Jimmy creates, they pay him $1.76. So if Jimmy comes in and creates one item, they're going to pay him $1.76. If he produces another item, they're going to pay him $1.76. He produces another item, another $1.76. So he makes $1.76 for every item he produces. Okay, so how many pieces did he produce to earn this much money? So we're going to take the amount of money that he earned, $369.60. There's so many, all those are divisible by 3. Let me make sure I typed them all in right. 36960, yes, divided by $1.76. Okay, so he gets paid this much total money and this much per piece. Well, how many pieces did he create? 650 and a half pieces. Really? 606. How many pieces did Jimmy manufacture to earn this amount of money this week? Well, that is rare. Normally it doesn't come out to be a decimal. This must be something that they can divide into pieces. Let me make sure I typed it in right. 36960 divided by, see my error? Ooh, yep. So that's my mistake. Let me go back and fix this. See, I knew that you can't get paid for part of a piece. You have to make an entire piece. So that's how I knew my answer was wrong. Let's hit divided by this time. The notes are divided. Let's double check. So find the number of pieces produced, total pay, divided by rate per item. Yes. So we should have hit divided by 1.76. So how many pieces did he produce? 210 pieces. So 210 pieces is what he was able to do. So this week, if they went over and they gathered everything that he made, they counted them up, 210 items. That's how much he produced. This is how much he gets paid per item. This is how much money he earned this week. So then the next question says, if Jimmy maintains this pace, how much will he earn this year? Okay, well, I'm going to go back and fix this problem. Since it doesn't tell us how many weeks there are in a year, there are 52 weeks in a year. But I'm going to put that in the question. So we're going to take this amount of money. So he makes $369.60. And he does that every week of the year. So every week. He does that this week, next week, next week, next week, next week. He does that every week of the year. There's 52 weeks in a year. So if Jimmy comes to work every week, Monday through Friday or what have you, or he produces 210 items every week and leaves, in 1 year's time, he will have made $19,219.20. Jimmy needs a different job. So $19,219.20 is how much he will make in 1 year. Okay, so hopefully Jimmy has a different job than this one as well, because this is not enough money to live on in Johnson County, Kansas, my friends. Okay, so again, the amount of money he earns per week, this is how much money he earns in a week, and there are 52 weeks in a year, so he would make $19,219.20. Maybe this is a gig job. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions, ask me in class or email me. Thanks, guys. There we go.